Today on DoodleDrawArt, we're going to draw Luis from the movie Rio. So Luis is a big, tough bulldog, and or so he likes to think. And we're going to draw his big snout face right down here, and then his eyes and his ears will be up above like this. And we're going to draw his body in this area here, and he's standing on an angle facing towards us, so it's going to be a very short version of his body with his little tail sticking up and his bulldog legs turning in here and turning under here. So these are some very faint lines. I know you probably can't see them all that well, but that's okay because we're going to draw him for real now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right here in the center of his face, and I'm going to draw his nose. So to make his nose, I'm going to make a long rainbow, and then I'm going to bring it down into the shape of a triangle. And then he's going to have nostrils right in here in his nose. There's going to be one on this side here, and one that we don't see quite as well over on this side here. So we're just going to shorten up the side of his nose, because his face is going to be on a slight tiny bit of an angle. Alright, so that's his nose. Great. Now we're going to draw the way his snout goes up over his nose. So there's just going to be a little hill here, up and over, like that. And then his snout is going to make its way over like this, on one side, and on the other. So now, in this particular picture that I'm drawing of him, he's going to have his teeth around a wrench. So you've probably seen this picture of him somewhere before, but the wrench is going to have a circle at one end, and it's going to be a wrenching end at this other side. So that's going through his mouth. So that's going to help me figure out where all this is going to go. So what I need here is a little loop up, and then sort of like a smile. It's going to come up over the wrench, and then back to this other side here, and over behind the wrench. So over here we're going to see his jowls drooping down. I bet he's drooling. Yeah, he's drooling. So this is his big jowl drooping down on this side. And then over here we're going to draw right from this line the bottom of his chin. It's going to come right around and meet up at this spot again. So we're going to make a big watermelon shape. It's going to connect right up here. Good. Now this is the bottom of his chin, but the bottom of his teeth is going to show through right along here. So let me see now. Maybe it will help if I draw the wrench first. So I'm just going to bring this around, and then it's a straight line, and it's going to hide a little bit behind his top lip. And then around the circle here, into his mouth, and then of course there's an inside circle here. So if you want to, you can do some erasing. All of these little sketch lines that I have in behind are going to go away eventually, and I'm going to erase them all when it comes time to after I've done my marker finalizing. But for now, this is just the general shape of his open mouth. So then we can draw this side of the wrench around like this and into his mouth. Alright, so we can see that he's got his mouth around the wrench, but now he's going to have some teeth coming down. So there's going to be a tooth here, and then some smaller teeth, and then he's going to have a big canine tooth sticking down like this, and then some underneath teeth from his bottom row coming up like this. It's kind of, they're not the nicest teeth. They're a little crooked, and some of them look like they've been broken. Poor guy. And another big tooth over here. So this is really going to help us now to find the bottom of his mouth, just like this. And it's going to come right up to the wrench. Alright, so he's got his mouth around this wrench, and we can draw his bottom lip as well. So it's going to be black. It's going to be shaped just like this. Okay. So now we're ready to think about his top lip a little bit more. He's going to have a little dimple here, and then he's got some patches of black pigment on his upper lip. It's going to sort of come down like this, and then bump over towards his lips, And there's some more underneath his big black bottom lip, and it's just going to come down like this and back up. So this is just for coloring in the pigment of the dog. I'm actually going to move this wrench a little bit wider, because I think it will look a little bit more like a wrench if it's thicker. That's better. The handle was too skinny. That's better. Alright, so now we're ready to just draw a little line here to finish off his jowls, because they're coming down on both sides like this, and we're ready to start drawing his eyes. This is going to make him look like it's Luis for sure. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw one eyeball that's going to start right here by the bump in his nose, and it's going to go up and over a rainbow like this, right back down. And then we're going to draw the brown of his eye like this. And it's going to have a little reflection here, and then we're going to draw the black part just inside like this. And that'll be colored in solid with our black marker when we're good to go. Okay, so now his other eye is going to be peeking from over here. We're not going to see as much of this one, so it's going to look like it's a little smaller just because of the angle that his face is turned on. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to bring that side jowl up a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to draw his eye kind of looking, peering in the corner a bit more. So we're going to see the black like this, and we're going to see this little sparkle in his eye, but his brown of his eye is just going to be peeking at us this way here. Again, we can color in this black part just to give us some reference while we're drawing. Okay, so those are his brown eyes. And then we're ready to start to think about his top of his head. So as high as his eye was, we're going to go up again that much, and we're going to draw kind of a dark brown patch over his eye, and that's about how high his head's going to go. So now we're going to bring his head around until it meets up with his jowls, just like this. And then we'll draw his cute little ear. He's got teeny tiny ears, just looping around like this. Teeny tiny ears. There's one. And then we're going to bring this across his head pretty straight, going across this way, and then around his eye like this. So this is going to be the side of his face just coming down here. And again, he's got his face turned off to the side, so we don't really see this side as well as the other one. So here we saw lots of space beside his eye. And over here, we're going to come in really quite close beside. And we're still going to see his other ear. It's going to be sticking out right here. Shoop. Just like that. Alright, so we've got his eyes and his nose, and we're just going to see a little bit of, it's not going to be colored a different color here, it's just going to be the way his bone structure goes, just a little bit like this. There'll be some shadows coming through there. Okay, so I'm just going to clean up some of these shapes. I would like this a little rounder here. I'm going to erase some of my sketch lines. See if there's anything that I would like to improve about this before I move on to the rest of his body. I think it's pretty good, actually. I think once we color it, we're going to like it. Sometimes hard to see without the color. Alright, so let's go for his belly. We're going to start right here, and we're going to curve around until we meet his leg. So this is just a nice curved line, just like that. And then we'll do his leg, and it's just going to do the same thing, curving down to the ground here. And then it's not a very long leg, so we're just going to plump it in like this. And then we're going to draw his toes. So we'll draw 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we've got a little line here where his fur is light brown, and then this is going to be all dark brown. And while we're at it, let's draw some drool. Alright. Woo, that's gross. He's all drooly. Okay, and then let's draw his other leg over here. I'm just going to draw a line that starts just underneath his ear, or no, just underneath his jowls. In fact, I'm going to bring this line over just a little farther. That's good. So starting from here, thinking about going down to start his leg, we're just going to make a small curve like this, and then we're going to make his toes. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3 that we can see easily, and there's one just back here. And we're just going to draw his little toenails on the tips of his toes. I don't see them too much, just a little. And then he's kind of roly-poly, so let's give him a little roll right there above his leg, above his feet. Okay, so this is where his leg is going to meet his body. I'm going to draw the other side coming down here. So he's got pigment of light brown, and then a big pudgy leg that's going to come out like this and into here. So this is just showing where it's lighter brown and then darker brown. Okay, so now we'll draw the top of his back. We'll just draw one little bump there, and then we'll draw his rump right here, coming around and down to his back leg. And we'll draw his belly. So it came around like this and it's going to keep coming up like that. Nice pudgy belly. And then we'll draw this back leg. So it's coming from back here and behind. And we've got some toes. These ones are smaller because they're farther away. They're probably not smaller in real life though, are they? And we'll just put those little toenails on the ends. Okay. I'm going to put his little tiny tail right up here, like that. And now some more drool. Alright, here it's coming right down. It's dripping off the side here. Whoa, drool. Hope he doesn't shake. That'd be gross. Okay, so this is the basic outline for Luis, and now we're going to outline him with black marker, and I have a ultra fine point Sharpie and a Faber-Castell brush tip. So I'm going to use my fine point for things like teeth and eyes, and I'll use my brush tip for the outlines. I'll do this in time lapse. So here we go. Alright, so I now can erase all of my faint pencil marks, and then I'm ready to color Luis. Alright, so now I'm ready to color Luis, and I've got my crayons ready. I've got some browns and tan. I've got black, gray, and white for the wrench and his teeth, and I've got a little bit of a melon color because sometimes we can see through his fur right down to his skin. It gives him a little bit of a pinky color through here. Alright, so here I go. The primary color for him is going to be this orangish brown color, but first I'm going to lay under some shadows. So I'm going to get started with that, and I'm going to do it in time lapse. Alright, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed watching me draw Luis today, and I hope you drew him too. And if you're on Instagram, I would love it if you would post a picture of the Luis that you drew and tag me in it so that I can see it too. I'd also love it if you would like this video and comment below and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.